Don't go around trying to fix anything in there. So, Dr. Wood, I'm here to talk about a little bit about Miracles of Minutes, about health, and for people who have chronic joint problems. The health, our bodies are what we live in our whole life, and as they start tearing up, if we particularly start to lose the use of our arms and shoulders and our legs, life starts to become very difficult. It's hard for us to get around. It's hard to enjoy life. It's hard to pick up our kids. It's hard to get from here to there. So, Miracles of Minutes was 15 years of clinical practice, research, and I've always been a person who enjoyed human excellence or human performance. Being a ball player, you're looking for an edge. You're looking what you can do to outperform your competition. There's a lot at stake if you want to be on the field and playing and play at a high level. So that's what kind of that mindset always drove me in when I played sports, and it still does today in clinical practice and also in my life. So, what I say about don't be trying to fix anything. So, a lot of the book Miracles Minutes is based upon some research I did into posture. And there's a lot of studies that show that poor posture affects our ability to breathe, affects our digestion, it can cause hammer toes, knee problems, hip problems, da 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 da. So it's like, wow, that's pretty interesting that one thing can cause so many different things. So when I wrote the book Miracles Minutes, I wasn't that familiar with some people out there who study posture like Vladimir Yanda, uh, dynamic neuromuscular stabilization, Pavel Kolage. These names you probably don't care about, but they were some real pioneer leaders in the field of rehabilitation and getting people back on their feet after they had an injury. So now, with a lot of posture things, you see someone has a slump posture, and what most people want to do is fix it and just put it back into place. And it seems like that direct route doing that will work, but actuality, it's not how posture really works. There's a system in our brain that actually controls postures called the PVV system. And the first P stands for proprioception. So, in other words, the brain needs to know where you are in space and time, and it uses three different satellites, just like your phone uses three satellites or triangulation when you use GPS. So, the first P stands for proprioception, which if I close my eyes, there's sensors in my nose tell my brain this is where I am. Every joint, every ligament, every artery, your heart, everything is sending signals to the brain of what's going on, how well it's functioning, and so on and so forth. The next way to verify ourselves in reality is our vision. They say that two-thirds of our brains dedicate to visual centers in the back of our head that helps us with depth perception and be able to see things. And the third area is the inner ear. We all know if someone has a bad inner ear infection that they cannot stand up, they can't balance, they can't move. All three systems work together, bring information to the brain, and then that's what helps to create the posture to move. Look at a small child, a 2-year-old, look at their posture, look how well they move, look what their head position is. They didn't do any crazy exercises to get that posture, it was just some of the movements they did. The third thing that you're going to see or the fourth thing that affects posture is actuality, habit. So if we habitually sit at a computer desk a long time, slumped over, that can change our posture. Also, our thoughts. So when we become depressed or we're suppressed as humans, suppressed, you don't say what you want to say, you don't say what you mean, you're not living up to your true self, you're hiding yourself, we tend to move into a fetal position. It's interesting, the fetal position is the default mechanism. When we have an injury, someone gets injured, you see them crunch up and roll around the floor. When someone has a neurological stroke, they tend to go in that fetal position. When we're afraid, we go into the fetal position. So it's a default mechanism somehow in our brain nervous system that works. So the purpose of this video is kind of explain a little bit about posture, and also just because you become aware of what the posture should be, you don't want to make it that, because that's not really how posture is designed or created. Some of the things in Miracles of Minutes start to just release some of the tension that's in the body, and then the posture, the brain already knows what good posture is. You don't have to make it that way. It's not something conscious we do. You don't consciously make your heart beat. You don't consciously make your food digest. So it's a typical mentality here in the West is to make it or fix it and make it look the way it should look. It it doesn't stick because you're using force to get there. And it's just like a marriage that's stayed together with force. It's not going to last in the end. All good relationships are there through power, through agreement, and they kind of just naturally kind of flow that way. So that's one of the things I want to express today in today's video is don't force, don't try to fix anything in there. Understand some of the concepts in the book and allow the posture to just happen on its own because it wants to do that. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.